Khwattu, home of the sand, the first people of southern Africa and of the last remaining hunter-gatherer cultures in the world, with their traditions, knowledge, and culture at threat of being lost to modern times. Khwattu, established in 1999, is jointly managed by the SAN and the Swiss Ubuntu Foundation for the benefit of all SAN of Southern Africa. At Khwattu, we aim to preserve, share, and uphold SAN knowledge, tradition, and cultures, and we allow them to share their knowledge and their traditions with the rest of the world in their own words. Almost 26 years ago, when Khwattu was started, one of the first steps taken was to rehabilitate the landscape. Invasive plants were removed, indigenous wildlife was brought back, and indigenous plants were reintroduced into the landscape. As the land healed, Khwattu grew, and we were able to develop a variety of SAN-guided and nature-based experiences and products for our visitors and guests to enjoy. One of those, our signature wellness brew, produced by our very own SAN Green Team here at Khwattu. Not only does the Green Team take care of our indigenous gardens, but they are also responsible for the restoration of the 850-hectare conservation area, making sure that we don't just take, but we also give back. Our signature wellness brew, produced by the Green Team, is made right here on the farm. We start by growing the plants in our indigenous gardens, in our mother garden, that can support low levels of foraging and harvesting. They include wild wormwood, cancer bush, and lion's paw, all revered for their medicinal properties. And then we mix in rooibos and buchu, which is sustainably grown and sourced from local producers. We harvest these plants from our garden and then dry them in the sun. Once it's processed, it's cut finer and mixed together to create our signature wellness brew. This tea is sold in the shop, is made available in the restaurant, and is used in our Veld pharmacy tours, and the income generated goes towards our restoration project. Our Veld pharmacy tour, one of 6 unique SAN-guided experiences, is a guided walk in our indigenous gardens with a SAN guide who points out indigenous plants traditionally used for wellness, healing, medicine, and culinary purposes. The Veld Pharmacy Tour concludes with a tasting of our wellness brew in our wild food and herb garden, where SAN guides like Nashada and Donika share their traditional knowledge and culture with guests over a cup of wellness brew tea.
Welcome to our Veld Pharmacy. So this is where we're going to have a tea tasting, or as we call, a tea party. Now, our traditional SAN indigenous knowledge is very important. People would go and gather them, use them as medicine or sometimes as teas. Now here we have mixes of ingredients which are plants together mixed. Now there we have separate mixers. First one is called the wild dagga, but the wild dagga is also known as a lion's tail. So it's a plant that they use for high blood pressure. And then that is how the fresh leaves looks like. Okay. And then this is our second plant, that is buchu. Now you get variety of buchu. We have this flat leaf buchu that we use for kidneys and liver. And then we have the wild wormwood. In most of the communities, you will hear a very famous Afrikaans name of it, known as wilde aus. Now this is used for cold and flu, stomach complaint, and period cramp. Traditionally, if a young girl comes back from her puberty school or women's school, she'll be giving this. And that is to help her with the period cramps. You can dry it and drink it, or drink it as fresh as it is from the garden. And then here we have a very strong one. Now this is very important, it's the cancer boost, because it is the whole immune system booster. So you dry it. As hunters, they don't have time to sit down, boil it and drink it. You crush it, make a powder, take it with you. You just eat it if you're feeling weak, drink your water and continue with your hunt. We take all of these plants that I showed you guys, we mix it with the loose rooibos tea, and we make a combination of plants, a tea, which we call a wellness brew. Now this wellness brew is very strong, but it's also very healthy. They said it's definitely medicine. After tasting it, I feel strong and healthy. Since from then, we started with our tea tasting. People buy it from us or they taste it. For the older generation, they love it as bitter as it is. So they don't add something sweet. But we have different people with different tastes. So we sometimes encourage them to taste it with our honey. Now I am going to taste it. Cheers. And this is our wellness brew.
Khwattu, the Embassy of the Sun, the first people of Southern Africa, our ancestors. Welcome home.